Good evening, everyone, to another new session of the workshops being conducted by Aditya Birla Education Academy. The session that we start today, the very first one in a series of 8 sessions. The first one that we are looking at is called as the competency framework and connecting to curricular goals. We are all very much aware that the NCF has been in place for some time now. And we are looking at the national education policy alignment with the CBSE curriculum across the different grades. We went through a lot of different resources aligned with the ICT curriculum last year. We looked at different resources in means of pedagogy, classroom, online resources, integration of ICT in your classroom planning, designing assessments, differentiation, bringing in pedagogy styles like flipped classroom into our teaching styles, bringing in all the children in our
Hello.
realm of teaching.
Good evening, ma'am.
And good evening, sir. So we will be
Your
starting
voice
with,
is not coming, ma'am.
give me a second. Am I audible now? It's clear. Thank you, Uttam sir, for the heads up. Okay. So it's very important for us to all be on the same page. And before we go there, I'm just going to give you a link in the chat. I want everybody to take a minute. I want everybody to take a minute. The link is in the chat. I want everybody to take a minute and give their responses to only the first section. So once you click on this one, you should be able to answer the way you will see over here. Okay. So you will see there are certain responses that I was trying it out. So I want only the first one to be answered. Just click on the first one. Whether you're on your phone or you're on your tablet, you should be able to respond to it. So just write your name in the subject, like I've written HK over here or person 2 over here. You can simply just click on it and give your answers. Also, additionally, I would like to make everybody aware that I will be noting down the participation of all the members this time. Anybody who's absent, anybody who's not paying attention, anybody who's not submitting the required assignment, that will be a problem. So we have to cover all our assessments this time to make sure that we know that we are all on the same page and we are able to cover the topics that we have been going in with. So it would be great if I start seeing some responses. To the first one, making annual plans regarding our subject. What are the major challenges that are being faced by all of us? If you're able to answer this question, go ahead and also answer to the second question, which is making lesson plans based on Bloom's taxonomy. How much are we equipped with the knowledge based on the current national curriculum framework? We have been talking about the national education policy around different domains, around integration, around bringing in all the students under the same realm umbrella and giving them the same kind of education in spite of the diversity, language barriers, differentiation, pedagogy styles. I just want you to answer these two questions so that it gives us a brief understanding of what exactly it is that we are looking at when we talk about mapping the curricular goals of our subject with the competency framework. What exactly is competency? We did cover it in the last year's sessions. For all the new members over here, we will be talking about it. And we're not actually going to bifurcate the National Curriculum Framework document, but we would rather be going ahead and talking about different attributes of that framework which work well with our particular subject. How is technology as a base being utilized for different attributes pertaining to competencies, holistic environment, clear thinking, critical thinking, bringing in the technology as not only just as a curriculum framework, but also as a tool by means of which we can make our students understand conversations. Let me just refresh the page to see uh, other people still writing. I'm looking at certain informations coming in. Start reverting to this. That would be great. So when we talk about competency framework, we are basically talking about the importance of competency framework in today's students' life. How empowered we are as teachers to get them equipped with those skills which will make them ready for the career opportunities in the real life tomorrow. Are they equipped with the 21st century skills? Are they aware of the different forums they can visit to understand what real life thinking is rather than just dosing them off with information which is just going to be in their attributed to their theory examinations? We have to equip our children see any responses so far, and this is an important part of the activity. Are you people able to write on the platform?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I saw some people answering the questions. Then what happened? I can see Sachin sir on the group on this. What happened? Everybody can write on this. You don't have to log in. I can see Uttam sir has posted something. Worked as planned. Okay. I was hoping to see a little bit more on this work. Okay. In the meantime, while you people are uploading your responses on the platform, okay, students have mixed mindset. Okay, must include activities to change their mind into growth mindset. Yes, that's very important. It's actually very important that we do that. Very good. What else? What else? Okay. Yes. So would somebody like to share what do they mean by growth mindset? Adaptation to change. Very nice. Would somebody like to unmute or should I call out people? Okay, I'll have to request some participants to unmute themselves. Anshu, would you please like to unmute and share your thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Anshu, sir, could you please share your thoughts on what exactly are the areas, the challenges that are faced when annual plans are designed?
Uh, Actually, ma'am, we have to study about the child mindset and the teacher also. So
Okay,
what can be benefit for the children on the basis of that
okay,
uh, we have to design the curriculum, ma'am.
okay. Arindam, sir, would you like to unmute yourself? Arindam, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, sir brought up a very good point about learning about children's mindset. So, would you like to share your thoughts? Are we trying to imply over here that children, uh, children are actually equally partnering us in designing the curriculum?
I think so because, like, at times we come to know what the children want, and because it's not only us, they also know what is happening all around, especially in this
Okay,
particular field. So I personally
okay,
feel yes, they also help us to design the this thing. as per this.
Let's say we are talking about all of us have taught one or the other topics by means of which we have either taught the topic as an integration with another subject. Does any particular topic come to your mind which brought about a different way of teaching them that same topic? Maybe using STEM, maybe using something else, maybe using another language like English integration, mathematics integration. Was there any topic that you thought over the years that could have been taught in a very different manner, which would have helped you understand the children's needs of their learning, and that learning actually stuck up with them over the years?
You are talking of computers as
Yes.
this thing.
Since we are all computer teachers,
Yeah, we
any
are all.
particular topic of computer science that you thought that, especially with students in grade 9 and 10, that which when taught otherwise inside the class would have had a different impact, like, doing a chalk and board method. But if you took out that particular subject with some other STEM activity or doing any field work or any poster making was more effective rather than just being, teaching it with a chalk and board method inside the class, like a theory
Okay.
subject.
Okay. In that case, I would sorry. I would just like to comment because this year we have introduced a subject called data science in class
Very
9.
nice. Very
And
nice.
what I personally feel it can be integrated. In fact, I'm doing it at my end because it has got a little bit of statistics over there. So concepts of linear programming plan that can be integrated, and through that people can understand. And I think that would be better because integrating a programming language like Python and then the concepts of statistics, I think that is always very good with a lot of case studies.
Right.
That is what is happening. Yeah. So we are
Okay.
trying to do
Right.
that. I feel that there should be some work on it and a lot of case studies which can actually help us in this process.
Right. So do you mean to say that when we are trying to discuss about machine learning models inside a classroom, we talk about prediction models like stock exchange, like we talk about the COVID dashboards, or we talk about prediction of house rents or something like that,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
does somehow
It's true.
relate to the real world where the children
Yeah,
love it
yeah.
better, right?
Exactly, and we can also take up examples which exist. For example, ours is a cement factory, Ultratech's cements. So it's
Okay.
very simple. We can pick up like how much quantity and what is the sales to maximize the sales and all
Mm-hmm.
these things. Concepts like this, even that we can induce, and children will understand it in a very nice way.
Very nice. It's a brilliant example, I think, that you brought forward. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Gaurav sir, would you unmute yourself, please? Gaurav sir. Okay, people are still shy enough. After 3 years with me, come on, guys, you got to be a little bit more forthcoming. Uttam sir, would you please unmute yourself? Long time I've not had a conversation with you. Uttam sir? Would somebody whose name is 108WS triple 003 please either rename themselves, because I cannot call you Mr. 108WS 003. Hello? So would you like to, or ma'am, would you like to share your thoughts on this? Oh, I think I have to talk to the ladies today. Ladies are not talking at all. Manju ma'am. Manju ma'am, can you hear me, Manju ma'am? Sameer sir, am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Can
ma'am. Yes,
somebody?
yes, ma'am.
I think only Anshu sir and Arindam sir can hear me. I guess the others are not. Jyoti ma'am, would you like to share your thoughts on this? Paresh sir, anybody who would like to share their thoughts on any activity or a particular topic that they have done, which they feel was much better taught in a different way rather than teaching in a chalk and board method.
Ma'am, actually, we can use the application-based programming so that we
Like,
can, like, ma'am, suppose we are using Windows or Android system. So this is
okay,
based, so this is based on this programming language, and this is the application of this. So,
thank you. That's great, Anshu sir.
yes.
Anybody who's taught robotics in their school in this particular group of teachers? Anybody who's taught robotics?
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, earlier actually we were using Arduino programming in our
Okay.
school, but after implementation of artificial intelligence, now we are teaching Python and that subject only, and that we stop Arduino
Okay,
programming.
let me go back to the time while you were teaching Arduino. Let me just go back to that particular time. What
Yeah,
kind of projects were the children doing?
like automatic street light system, and
Okay. And what
that
kind of coding were you using? You were using functions, you were using
yeah,
computational
that was
thinking.
it was totally based on the C++ programming. Yeah,
Yes,
oh,
yes, that's what I wanted to go back to. That when you are teaching programming skills, when you're teaching things like procedures, you're teaching things like functions, you're
yeah,
teaching things like loops, you are
yeah,
just not teaching them 10 different programs inside the classroom. You're using different hands-on activities to make
exactly.
use of them. And that is where the holistic development of the child happens. That
Yeah,
is where the information from different people, it comes to me, that we come to
yeah.
know. Just a heads up to everyone. I just want to show you people something before I move on. And I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay. Okay. So let's just go on to the next one to understand what has been the role of the National Education Policy for the CBSE curriculum. The National Education Policy came to us in the year 2020-22. It has been, the next draft has been shared. The whole process goes on when we talk about the curriculum goals that are set for a particular subject, like ours for competencies are measured and mapped, and then the learning outcomes are mapped in such a way that it works. The national education policy has been, the main aim for has been to make the CBSE curriculum holistic, flexible, and relevant to the society, to the 21st century skills. The focus has completely been on honing the skills of the students so that they are problem solvers rather than just becoming the creator, rather than just becoming the policy consumers. They are also content creators now. The competency framework, as has been defined, makes sure that the behaviors are such that the students need to demonstrate to succeed in their future studies and careers. They use these skills that are mapped with as per their curriculum to guide the curriculum development, assessment, and professional development. What has been the role of the national education policy implementation? The competency frameworks not only support the implementation of the national education policy, but they provide a very clear and measurable way to assess and develop the skills of the students for the knowledge. Let me show you where exactly we are talking about. For example, let me show you, this is the document that has been framed by the policy standard, by the policy teams to understand what exactly is happening over here. So there's a whole big document that talks about this is available on the education website by the government. We talk about the aims of the education. We do talk about the career goals, competencies, and learning outcomes. The whole purpose of today's session is for you to be understanding that the career goals further delve into the competencies, which further delve into the learning outcomes of every session. So this particular session that we are going to talk about is we are going to look at how we are looking at the whole growth of the students from one particular domain, from the primary to the middle to the senior. So let's talk about in the next particular slide, what is the role of the national education policy that has happened so far. Is anybody over here who's quite adept with the role of NEP in the field of technology that we have? Did you remember do you remember anything from the previous year's education conversations, the policy conversations, the session conversations that we had last year, that how the national curriculum framework is going to help us lead with the technology classes in our classroom? Do you remember anything from anywhere? Anybody would like to share, or share in the chat if they are okay?
Ma'am, good evening,
Yes,
ma'am.
please. Good evening,
My
sir.
name is Saurabh Srivastava from KDKVM. I
Okay.
want to say that the multiple disciplinary subjects are introduced
Mm-hmm.
in NEP,
Okay.
and this causes problem because if a students go to the multiple
Mm-hmm.
disciplinary at a time, the facilities which the school provide have to enhanced, and students cannot specialize to a particular subject. If a student wants that he want to study computer science as well as the statistics as well as this, so he's make himself generalize for all but not specialized to
Okay.
something. This is a main
Okay.
drawback I know about. I think about the NEP. Can we have
That's
any solution?
yes. I want to actually. There's a very nice conversation that just 5 minutes ago, sir had shared. Anshu sir had shared that when we Arvind sir had shared probably that when we are looking at teaching I think Anshu sir, is better, right? So the designing of that, yes, that technical integration definitely helps. So the learning is not just based on one subject, Saurabh sir, it is based on two subjects. I'll show you one very good example over here. When we do the actual activity of implementing the Bloom's taxonomy, and then probably the doubt that you have regarding the multitude of subjects being available and students not being able to profess their expertise in one. Let's just go with the role on to the next one, right? Let's just go to the next slide.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Are you zooming your screen or not?
Yeah, I'm trying. Can you not see my screen? I can see
No,
my screen.
actually, ma'am, there is a problem in my laptop. The screen is automatic zoom in, zoom out. So
Okay.
everything
I'm
is.
sharing my screen. I'm sharing my screen here. This is actually available on your LMS also, so you can see it from there also. Not to worry on that, right? You can open it separately from the LMS. You can download the PDF and open it simultaneously also. Not to
Okay.
worry on that. Okay. So let's just look at the third one. When we talk about so we are going to talk about in this session three sections. One, competency framework for computer science CBSE. Then we are going to talk about how it can help us in designing the annual planner. And then we're going to take one lesson planner example. The examples of all the three are already available on your LMS. Let's just first of all talk about taking computer science as a subject, not exactly in necessarily in the means of that we are going to look at uh, computer science as computer science, information technology, artificial intelligence, or data science. These particular topics are something that we are looking at in all the subjects. One or the other topics is always there, whether it is talking about computational thinking and problem solving, we're talking about programming, we're talking about data structures and algorithms, we talk about computer systems, the basic components of the computer systems and how they glue up together. There will be a mention of computer networks, how they pass on the data amongst themselves, how the Wi-Fi is connected, what are the different types of networks, the different devices. So we will be looking at some or the other of these particular topics. So I have just pitched in five main topics from any particular framework of a computer science subject. Now, when you're designing your annual planner, what happens basically? We talk about competency, we talk about the learning skills that we are teaching our students in such a way that they should be able to learn and understand in such a way that they are ready with those particular critical thinking, problem solving, logical reasoning skills for their future careers. So let's just talk about one particular thing. How are we connecting with a particular curricular goal? So let's say if we are keeping in mind any particular topic, for example, we talk about the competency area of problem solving. Now, every subject, whether it is data science or whether it is artificial intelligence or information technology or whether it is FIT, any of these subjects that we take, Problem solving of any particular algorithmic situation would require students to identify and solve problems using computational thinking, right? Let's just pick up this one as a curricular goal for one particular curriculum topic, and we will look at how we can further break this down into a way by means of which we should be able to do our not only the annual year planning but also our topic lesson. So let's look over here. So let's say if this was the topic that I had, the computational thinking topic I had. Now, when I'm going to be teaching this topic, I am looking at, if I'm looking at the Bloom's taxonomy, very clearly it is told to us that Bloom's taxonomy means that we must look at, let me just show you the slide of Bloom's taxonomy first of all. So let's say when we're looking at the level activity, Bloom's taxonomy talks about that framework where we are trying to put in those particular skills where children are able to revert back to not only just the learner formatives, but also in different forms of formative examinations, where which will further strengthen the basics and the learnings of the students in such a way that they are able to answer the summative assessments, right? They should be able to remember, they should be able to understand. Everybody has seen the Bloom's taxonomy triangle from top to bottom, how further it breaks it down, right? They should be able to apply the knowledge that they learn. They should be able to compare and contrast to analyze two different algorithms. If we are just taking into context one problem solving activity for computational thinking, the students should be, when they're trying to evaluate, we are giving the students an activity to design and implement a new algorithm for solving the problem. For example, let's talk about calculation of very basic problem for a grade 9 student would be to find the area of a triangle. Now, when they're trying to find the area of a triangle, they can either use a Heron's formula where they're having the three sides, right? They have A, B, and C, three measurable sides, and they can actually calculate the semi-perimeter, use the Heron's formula, and then give out the area of a triangle. Or other way out, they could be also looking at when they have the base and height of the triangle, they can pick up if that is given in the question, they are still giving us the area of a triangle. There are multiple ways of going about calculating the same activity depending upon whatever the inputs are. So if they know one way, they can always figure out another way, right? Similarly, very simple exam, the same simple exam, if we were to example, we were to pick up for doing the same thing in Python as an example. So if we are teaching our students to go ahead and calculate the area of triangle using the Heron's formula, maybe we have not taught them about the Python libraries. We have asked them to use without any Python inclusion of import math without giving that statement. We want them to do it. So what they can do when they're giving that last statement for, so they can do a raised to the power half, or they can actually do math.sqrt if they are available. If so, there is more than one way of doing the same task. So it is not necessarily that the students have to be given a straight on method. They should be able to create a solution for something that they are already learned. So a new topic would be, so a new resolution can be given out from a particular topic that they are already aware of. So let's just go back to that activity. So if we are just looking at, if we have already bifurcated that this is a topic that we want to go ahead and actually diversify in, let's say 15 days. Okay. So what are we doing over here? So we are talking about, maybe we will talk about introduction to computational thinking on day one, identifying procedures for solving a problem. We might want to evaluate the order of activities in which we want them to break it up. We can probably go ahead that do we want to break up the bigger problem into the smaller problem statements? We can look into that. Are we looking at also suggesting to them how to make decision making based? So this is where we are talking about introduction of the if statements, talking about the loops. Are we talking about conditions and decisions? Are we talking about the entry exit groups? So we are not actually teaching them the concept, teaching them the language over here. We're actually teaching them the concept over here, right? So remember, the conceptual understanding is very different from an actual programming language being taught inside the class. So deriving the same lexical rules from a real world situation, if a very simple question that we ask when we start with the teaching of if else, for example, probably we ask the students, do you wear a raincoat? Do we carry an umbrella? So what do we say? If it is raining outside, carry an umbrella, otherwise don't carry an umbrella. If we have more than one situation to ask, for example, should a person be allowed to vote in the country, we give them a solution of, if the person's age is greater than 18 and the nationality of the person is Indian, we allow them to do the voting inside India. Otherwise, they are not allowed. Inputs and outputs and problem solving required. What should be the pre-planning? What are the prerequisites? For example, if you're doing roots of a quadratic equation. They need to give and provide the constants a value. They need to be aware that this is a situation when put equal to 0, what's a quadratic equation. They need to know the whole basis of the whole problem statement. So what are those things when we're giving them, let's say, a menu driven interface program to find out uh, change of temperature from, let's say, degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit, or the other way around, or area of multiple figures, or tell which month it is depending upon the number that is entered. So those prerequisite situations they need to be aware of. What are the pre and post conditions in problem solving that they need to be aware of? And most importantly, identifying exceptions. Don't we go ahead and teach our children that, if when you're using a menu driven interface, if a person is entering a wrong input, if the person is entering 13 for, let's say, giving out which month is that it is being printed, that has to be printed. If a person is entering 10, it is October. If a person is entering 12, it is December. But if a person is entering 13, we have to say wrong month entered. The month doesn't exist. Most importantly, concurrent processing that is happening in problem solving. Aren't there multiple things like a backup being done while we are still accepting data from the user? How we abstract the problem statements. We have all taught at some point of time, we have taught about object-oriented programming. We have extracted and taught them about how a real-world problem can be further broken down. If it's a school management system, there is going to be an attendance system, there's going to be a fee system, there's going to be a timetable system, how they're independent of each other, yet they are still together, forming the basis of the ERP. And further on, we go ahead and summarize and report it. So if we are just so when we are looking at the whole month-wise yearly planning, this is what is it that we are looking at. So what happens when we are going at the more micro level? This is more, it is showing at the macro level. So what happens when we are looking at the micro level? The whole concept of understanding about Bloom's taxonomy is that we need to be made sure, or we need to be aware of. Let me just stretch this out so that you can understand. So just like that, when you're framing your lesson plans, what is it exactly that you're looking at for the students? And this is what exactly is the curricular goal. If this is the curricular goal, remember we had talked about the aim of a particular lesson. So maybe the curricular goal was an amalgamation of all the lesson plan aims. What are the objectives that the children are going to learn? What are the possible materials that would be required? What is your anticipatory sets that you're looking at? Maybe this might look like a little bit more complex than what you are doing, but then every school, every state board, everybody has their own way of creating their own lesson plans. The more planning that you're doing outside the class is giving more. What could be the guided practice? What could be the independent practices? Where exactly do you feel that there are going to be common areas of struggle? Like, for example, sir had just mentioned over here that when we are looking at a combination, when we're looking at the combination of statistics and mathematics and computer science as a subject individually, together the children become quite in something general, they become quite proficient. But when we're looking at those particular subjects in individuality, there is less and less of uh, कम पकड़ है उसमें, ज्यादा पकड़ नहीं है उसके अंदर. That is what happens the maximum over here. And what exactly is it that you're looking at the closure? Depends upon what kind of a handout you are giving to the children. There could be some kind of, so I've just compiled some basic introduction resource over here for them to go ahead and compile it together. They can probably be given some context to the whole conversation regarding what are those terms that you want them to know, which probably appear when they are reading their text online, offline, in the books, in your notes, in your presentations. You just have to give them the whole context about talking, like, what is it that you're talking about? There could be different terminologies that the children might need some help in. So you need to give them certain context, you need to give them certain examples, you need to give them some kind of things that are happening. Where exactly are these happening? So when we talk about the different pattern, we do talk about pattern recognition, we do talk about abstractions. And this all comes where? This all comes when you are creating your own presentations. So for example, let's say you are talking about this particular topic, like I was creating this one small presentation learning about Python functions, right? So if I'm teaching this to my grade 11 at this point of time, in the very beginning, I'm just giving it out to them, like what exactly are these? So I am not introducing the topic on the very first day. I'm breaking it down as I just showed you over here over the number of days that we are looking at. But then this is micro level programming. This is micro level teaching that I'm doing on individual topics that you are looking over here. right? So it all depends upon what is the macro level learning outcome that you want them to learn, and what is how you are mapping your day-to-day activities in the lesson plans, so that when come together, the students will be able to do formative assessments, the students will be able to sit at the end of the term with a summative assessment, where they will be giving a written exam to further formulate. In this whole topic, I have not exactly told them how we are going to do recursion, what are local global variables, what is the examples. This is just day one, giving them what is it that they are going to look forward to in their whole 15-day or 20-day lesson planning that you are doing. So again, as an example, I've given you the lesson plan for this topic. They are all out there in your LMS that are available over there at this point of time. So what we're going to do now is that you look at, let me just go back to my presentation from the other one here. So when we are looking at the whole structure of the year that we are looking at, let's say if we are talking about data structures, for example, and algorithms, we're talking about computer systems. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to put all of you in a breakout room, right? You can either pick up one of these, any of these. You could just have one document, one Word file somebody could open in that particular group. You could share the screen amongst yourselves. And what you could do is just share after I will give you 15 minutes each to design a small lesson plan. Now, this is the same thing that is there on your as an assignment that has been put up on your LMS that you need to submit for your own subject. So you can actually do that particular activity right now. And as an example, the lesson plan, I would want you to actually formulate something like this that is there on your lesson plan over here. If you see this document, like what would be the aim of that topic? What would be the objectives? What materials could be required? You could look at some questions. What kind of practices you would want? Guided practices, independent, like, we talk about. So, in those 15 minutes, you pick up a topic of your own that you would want to do. So, the topic can be any of these that you can, or you could pick up as a common topic. The whole group could decide whether they want to talk about any particular small topic of networks, or they could talk about data structures, or they could talk about computational thinking. Out of the three, whatever topic that works with that particular group, you could go ahead and make a lesson plan. So this is there on everybody's LMS. I will give you 15 to 20 minutes for each group to come back and then showcase their learning from that. That is going to be the activity for the day. And then we will have a discussion based on that. So remember, when we are looking at designing the lesson planning, I want all of you to be very much aware of the fact that you are going to be further looking at the competency area. So pick up, let me just create the breakout rooms first of all. Give me a second. Okay, so I hope as a team, when you went into the breakout rooms, the idea was 100% clear for you, and you have created the lesson plans as designated to each individual group. I will be asking each and every one to be quite pertinent when present when their group is presenting. Collaboratively, you will share your lesson plan. One can rely on the other to share a point, which probably if you're not very comfortable with sharing, the others can from the team can put in their efforts. So room number one, which was, oh, I think I have closed oh, there it is.
Yes, ma'am, we are
So
ready.
room number one, yeah.
Yes, ma'am, ready.
So you can share your screen. Who is sharing the screen from room number one?
Arindam, sir.
Okay, Arindam sir, welcome to the podium. You can share your
Yes,
screen.
thank you, ma'am. I'm sharing my screen, but I someone else presents because there's a lot of noise around.
Sure,
So
sure,
I'm
sure,
sharing
sure.
my screen.
Yes,
Okay,
sure,
and
sure, sir.
yes, anybody can from the room can share their idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, sir, please go
Yep.
ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. Our topic was problem solving skills. The title.
Mhm.
The objectives is identifying and defining the problems first, comprehending the problems, analyzing the problems. Once we analyze find out the problems, generating the solutions. There may be, say, many solutions will get it. So after out of that, so many solutions, evaluating and selecting the best one which we can implement, and we
Okay.
can monitor the progress.
Okay.
And the materials needed is, madam, PPT presentations, audio, video on that particular topic, problem solving,
Right.
whiteboard, marker, laptops, or so many things,
Mhm.
whatever that like projector screen or whatever it is required.
Okay.
The duration we have kept is 90 minutes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we have bifurcated all the 90 minutes in the lesson plan.
Right.
The introduction, particular 10 minutes, then defining the topic, problem solving, analyzing, identifying the problem, generating the
Okay.
solutions. We may get one or more solutions also. So we need to
Mhm.
select the best, choosing the best solution among whatever that number of solutions we are getting it.
Okay.
And those that ones from one that we have to implement and monitor whether that really effective or not.
Mhm.
And the last the interactive session, that is a discussion among the students, then evaluation, how much the children have gathered the knowledge about this particular topic,
Okay.
any like say doubts or any feedback or whatever it is. And
But
we
what
have,
are the activities? That's great that you are sharing this whole conversation. But I would like to know this from Paresh sir.
yeah, ma'am.
Paresh, sorry, I'm saying Paresh sir. I would like to know this from Sunil sir also. Sunil sir, could you share one possible case study, any example that you think that could be utilized when we are talking about this particular unwrapping of the topic? Like one of the main activities probably for something must have been discussed. Like what kind of a case study are you looking at? Sunil sir, am I audible to you, sir? Okay. Priyanka, would you like to share? Though I understand you joined in late, but would you still be able to share
Yes,
your thoughts on this?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in problem solving, I would like to add here that whenever we are going for a problem solving, we should go step by step.
No, no, I'm specifically looking for a case study example from the group. Like Sir has already mentioned over here that in the 10 minutes they would want to do certain discussions about the case, a certain case study example they would like to take. So would you want to share any example of a case study here? Anything that comes to your mind, like you talked about breaking down the problem into step by step creation. You could bring up any particular problem statement that you would want to discuss with your students.
Like, ma'am, we can take any day to day activity,
Okay, such as?
like planning for a picnic,
Okay.
and we can go step by step, ma'am. Ki first you have we will uh, we will circulate a message. Then
Mm-hmm.
we'll take the names of the interested people.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll plan out the activities, what we will do at the picnic. Then we
Mm-hmm.
have to schedule a date. So likewise, we can go, ma'am. Simple day-to-day activities we can take.
Okay. Arvind sir, would you like to share
Yes.
your thoughts on what kind of probably a quizzing activity
Yeah.
or how probably designing a flow chart would be something that would be helpful for children to understand the whole concept of problem solving?
Yeah, the flow charts we can make, even the case study. May I say the example of case study, ma'am? The-
A flow chart in itself is an example of
yeah.
a case study,
Okay.
but
Like
if
there
you're
was
if
a
you're drawing a flow chart,
sure, sure.
like for example, when you make a building plan as an
Yeah.
architect, you are able to explain to the client what the client is able to visualize what his house is going to look like, right? So how do you think when you make a flow chart, what exactly are you trying to convey through a flow chart to the child so that he understand, okay, using this technique, I will be able to understand problem solving. Would you like to somehow share your own thoughts on why would you want to use flowcharts as a technique?
Okay, like
Ma'am,
a different
Any,
or some one picnic one I have to share, ma'am.
I think I would say I would rather go and stick to a technical
Okay.
conversation regarding the problem solving.
If I talk about the technical one, there that if you remember, there was one innovation that done by one of the girl who invented
Mm-hmm.
a glass for drivers.
Okay.
So that's help us to remind the driver if the glass detect them, the driver become sleepy. It's vibrate
Yes,
on
yes,
their
yes. Yeah, I remember we had discussed it last year. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
So that actually we can make whenever we get the information or whenever the eye is getting sleepy. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
that what the condition we are getting. If something we are
Okay.
getting in
Let
flow
that
chart,
be the problem statement. Let
yeah,
that be the problem statement.
yeah.
How would you break it? How would you put the problem parts in the flowchart?
So this is the condition, ma'am. As soon as that suppose we started the first, and then the condition is whenever the driver gets sleepy, and it's that condition become true. So we'll go to true part, and the glass will start vibrating.
Yes, 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 yes. I agree. But we would still want to break it up into input, process, output. What
Yes,
is the input required? What is the process required? What is the output that's going to
input that
happen?
reading of eyes.
Reading of eyes, the
Yeah,
readings, the capturing, the
yeah.
image capturing of the
Image
eye
capturing. Yeah,
status, that would be great
input. Yeah,
for comparison,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then the decision making that you are doing, and then the output that it is whatever we are trying it to make the person to get awake or sound a message that you are
yeah,
falling asleep or
yeah.
something like that. So
Exactly,
this
ma'am.
is what Priyanka was trying to explain to you, that when we are looking at problem solving in itself as a problem, so if you go back to the if you would go back to the presentation where we were talking, when I had asked you people to look at the PDF, the initial PDF, where I said that what is the curricular goal that you are looking at. So now, how do you understand when you're looking at this topic, the whole curriculum goal? So, जब हमारे पास when we get the academic plan of the whole year, sir, are you on a laptop right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you just do me one favor on a separate tab? Can you share? Just search. Can you open Google?
Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
Just open Google.
Yeah, open, ma'am.
No, I think you're sharing one particular screen, not the whole document.
No, I have to share, ma'am.
Yes, just share. Whoever is sharing the screen, Arindam sir, I think you were sharing the screen.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Arindam sir is sharing.
Yes, ma'am. I'll better share.
Arindam sir, can you just share Google
Okay,
and reshare your screen again? I want to show you
sure.
people something.
Just one sec. Okay, let me share. Sorry.
Please. Just open Google. Now, in the Google, what is it that we are doing right now in computer science in your school? Let's say
We
data
are
science. Let's
data
just
science.
write down on the topic, write down data science course curriculum. Data science course curriculum, CBSE.
Ma'am, CBSE. Yeah.
Just write down CBSE. कुछ तो आएगा. No, not the upgrade. थोड़ा नीचे जाएं. कहीं तो आएगा. I think.
Sec.
किसी का भी curriculum खोल ले. Artificial intelligence, FIT,
We have it.
CBSE. Yeah, just open this. So when we look at, no, I wanted the जहाँ पूरे साल का planner आता है, I want that. These are individuals, ना actually. Yeah, एक आप side में जाएं ऊपर. Go open another tab. Just open another tab. Another tab. On the plus sign, just open another tab. Plus
Yeah,
sign
yeah.
पे जाएं. And just इसको खुले रहने दे, इसको खुले रहने दे. एक और tab पे जाएं. Write down computer science syllabus class 11. Computer science syllabus class 11. Class 11. 20, 23, 24 कुछ भी निकाल लें.
This one.
हाँ, ये इसको खोलें सर. Just open this one. See, whenever we are planning the whole year planning for a particular curriculum, a PDF should have opened. Is
Just
it
one
opening?
sec.
Yeah, I think there it is.
It's finally
There it is.
problem with the network. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you would just look at the first, could you just zoom in a little bit more? I just want to see the learning outcomes. Just want to show everyone the learning. इतना भी चलो, इतना भी ठीक है. So guys, if you look at the whole learning outcomes, right? This is the set of the overall learning competency that we are looking at, right? So when we are looking at students should be able to develop basic computational skills, thinking, explain and use data types, appreciate the notion of algorithms. When we are looking at these individual learning outcomes, these are the learning outcomes for individual topics of your syllabus. When you are saying develop basic computational thinking, we are not looking at the lesson plan of day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. This is the overall learning of that topic that we are expecting that the child would be able to learn at the end of the year, right? So this is the competency that we want the student to build. Now, what the National Curriculum Framework is telling you is that when you are looking at planning your year wise, just don't look at it from the topic of, don't do it, मैं day 1 पे ये पढ़ाऊं, 2 पे ये पढ़ाऊं, 3 पे पढ़ाऊं, और अब मेरा जो है कंप्यूटेशनल थिंकिंग बच्चे को आ गए. You guys are doing it the opposite way around. We walk into the class, we say, okay, we have to learn programming. Let's start with Python. Why did it come? What is the background? Why is it popular? What is the data type? This is the if else, this is the. No, we have to do it from the top level rather than going from the bottom to the top. कि ये सब पढ़ने के बाद मुझे Python आ गया. No, let's do it the other way around. Where the top learning is what? We want to learn Python. Why do we want to learn Python? Further, we break it into 3 roots. Then, अब मुझे I want to learn about libraries, I want to learn about data types, I want to learn about loops. ये उसके सब imagine a inverted tree जैसे हम tree structure में देखते हैं. You get my point? So these are your root nodes. When I'm talking about develop basic computational thinking, इसके अंदर क्या है? We don't know as of now. But we are going to create day-wise planning based on this ultimate goal. Do you get my point when I'm trying to explain to you what NCF is trying to do for you? And while doing this, we have to keep in mind that we design our planner in such a way that every single topic is just not about rote learning. Every single topic, when further broken down, has to have individual lesson plans in such a way जब वो collectively 15 दिन का हो जाए, we have done individual formatives, we are able to achieve this learning outcome number 1A. If you are agreeing with me, just give me a reaction of a thumbs up in the in the chat. Just give me that. Just give me a reaction of thumbs up if you've understood what I've just told you now. And why did we do this activity? Okay, I don't see many of them coming in. One, Saurabh coming in. So I need to know that others are also unsure. Okay, so Gaurav. So I can see that you people now have to understand what is the whole purpose when you get this kind of a syllabus from CBSE. What is the meaning of applying NCF to these topics? So when your school is asking you for the annual plan requires you that you should break it down in such a way that when those individual lesson plans are designed for every unit, collectively for that particular unit, the ultimate curriculum goal for that topic is achieved. And that is called as competency integration. I hope I've been able to get that through to you. Now, when you just scroll down, sir, go to the distribution of marks. Thank you everyone for sharing the thoughts on this one. Now look at this. So that means when you are going to break down your whole curriculum, you are breaking it down into 3 units, which is now, so that means the top level was what? Computer science. Now we have sub 3 levels. Unit 1, computer system organization, computational thinking 1, society, law and ethics. फिर further नीचे उसकी next level पे Now, how are we breaking down? Sir, please go down a little. Now, how are we covering computer system organization? We now design it in such a way and activities in such a way that the Bloom's taxonomy is applied to every single particular unit. That when we try to achieve the end goal. So when you go back, so now can you please go back to your learning outcome, your
Yeah,
learning document,
one
lesson
second.
plan.
One second. Stop it. Because this one is.
Because this year your assessment is going to be based on every single assignment and class participation along with the endline assessment. So when I'm looking at this lesson plan, I just scroll up, sir, on the top of the page. Just scroll up to the top of the page. Now, understand the fact I'm not judging it, I'm just suggesting it. So when you give 7 objectives for one lesson plan that is in 90 minutes, you have to map your plan in such a way that you are covering different opportunities for all types of students. Do you get this? And that was the whole reason of sharing that lesson plan template with you. Now, this exercise that you see, if you are having in 90 minutes, my child, every type of child will be able to overcome everything. Impossible, because it only increases your work. So what would I recommend is, probably what you should do is the same plan that you have right now can be actually broken down into 3 days rather than one lesson plan, one DLP. Go for 1, 2, 3. Cover the only. Am I audible?
No, ma'am, you're not audible. Actually, it's breaking. The voice is breaking.
Are you
No,
able
ma'am.
to hear? Are you able to hear me now?
Now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I'm also joined from my phone from one device. That is why. So what I'm just trying to tell you right now is that, do you understand the whole perspective of your annual year planning and then your individual topic wise planning? Agreed? If you agree with me, room 1, give me a thumbs up or tell me audibly yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
ma'am.
So
Yes,
as
ma'am.
an assessment, when you are going to submit your lesson plan, I don't care whether you just pick up 2 sub objectives, but those 2 sub objectives, sir, can you just go to the LMS that you have? Go to the LMS. I saw that you were logged in on the browser. Can you just go to the LMS? And in the LMS, I would want you to go to the class 1 resources. Yes, I think my courses, there is a place where you have your resources for the day. Yes, not this one, sir. Just go to the example docs. Go to the example docs. Yes, this is actually the lesson plan that I had shown you. So when you pick up the lesson plan, the one that you would be sharing for that particular topic, consider this as one lesson plan for one particular day. Okay, I could also further break it down into probably 2 more days. This is just a hush hush because this was supposed to be required. So just pick up, keep it as simple as possible. Phrase your sentences in such a way that if tomorrow you are absent, somebody else is working in your capacity in the school, they should be able to look at the document and say, okay, this is the purpose, this is the requirement. Just scroll down. After this point, your team, your work was perfectly fine. Just scroll down. Now, just look over here. Sunil sir, I'll just speak to you. Now, anticipatory set is probably just the flow of the lesson. Just scroll down more. This is that part where you're talking about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That was the breakdown. So that is also very good. Just scroll down a little bit more. On the next page, I want you to go and look at what is the model practice. What kind of practice are you going to show to the student? Is it a hands-on activity? Are you trying to give them an online quiz, a case study handout? Are you asking them to make a mind map? Are you asking them 2 questions? You look at a YouTube video and then answer those 2 questions. There could be certain activities inside the class which you would probably guide to them. Could you just scroll down, sir? So guided practice could be something that I am doing with you right now. Like I'm guiding you, this is the lesson plan format, this is what I'm expecting you to do, this is how you should look at. And then there could be individual practice. Just if you could scroll down, like independent practice could be something that you did just right now as a group in a breakout room, as a collaborative approach, right? Then what could be the common areas of struggle? You also have to talk about if there are certain students with differentiated abilities inside your class, or there could be certain things where you people could get handicapped and you would not be able to solve a problem. So this is like areas of struggle, and what is at the end of the day you would want after 90 minutes that is there. So just when you plan your individual DLPs, they should, when I say DLP, it's daily lesson plan, it should actually be hovering towards doing those activities which will be able to fulfill the aim for that day. But fulfilling the aim for that day does not mean that the whole curriculum has been covered. Pura computational thinking, problem solving, aaj samajh aa gaya. No, this is the next stepping stone for day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. After 5 days, now when it is over, you are now solving one curricular competency problem has been solved. Now the children know what problem solving means. That is what means competency integration for annual day planning, annual year planning. I hope I'm clear on that part. If
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
It
that's
is.
great. So room number 1, I hope you've understood where you were lagging. Just writing down case studies does not work. So
Correct.
just scroll down, sir, in the contents, right after contents. Do you see an assignment over there?
Context
Scroll.
builder.
ये तो सब document है. ये तो
Assignment is
feedback
there.
for. Where is the assignment? Where do you see? Yeah. So this is, so you will have 2 attempts of doing it, right?
Okay.
So you will have 2 attempts. Pick up any subtopic of your topic. Just give the total, the conceptual topic, the subtopic you are working in. 1 DLP will be more than enough. That gives me idea. So you will have 2. Okay. So there, I'm not really sure. Okay, that's fine, Yogesh sir, no problems. So there is 2 attempts that you would have to give it, right? In case you feel that there is something that's still missing, and or you want to share 2 attempts and want to have my feedback on that, I will be able to do that. Okay. Thank you very much, team 1. This was a very good effort for starters. Very
Thank you.
well done, I would say.
Thank you.
Okay. Room 2. Who is doing it from room 2? So Jyoti, Dhirendra sir,
Yes, ma'am.
Manish, yeah, Jyoti ma'am, are you sharing the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, very good. Please share the screen. Okay, please go ahead and share your ideas.
Ma'am, we have created lesson plan for data structure and algorithm.
Okay,
The aim of the topic is to make students understand about data structure and algorithm.
okay,
The learning outcomes would be the student should be able to understand the concept of data structure and its terminologies,
okay,
data structure types, and what are the applications of data structure in real time.
okay,
Exam, uh, the methods to access data structure, how to create data structure, delete data structure, and how to modify data structure.
okay,
And ma'am, here we have covered algorithm also.
okay. So this is,
How
I'm
to
assuming, day 1 of the topic, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, please go down.
Ma'am, next is material required.
Yeah, I saw that.
We
Just go
are
with the questions. Just go to the
yes.
questions.
What is algorithm and its purpose? Flow chart. What is flow chart and how it is related to algorithm? What is data structure and its type? What are the methods to access, update, and delete data structure? What is the real-time application of data structure?
Okay, so these would be the questions, like which could be either open for open discussions, or it could be something that students could be actually looking at. Okay, so what is the guided practice that you have given? Find the largest number. What are the examples available around us? Okay, anybody would like to share, Dhirendra sir, Manish sir, Manju ma'am, Saurabh sir, on this one? Before anybody would like to explain or share before I give my feedback? I've
Ma'am,
heard, yes, sir.
yes, ma'am. About the questions, these are the some questions which students have to understand after the lecture is over.
Okay.
What is the algorithm? How can you design a picture representation of the algorithms? If
Mm-hmm.
they cannot learn the code, then they can make a graph of the algorithms and the way of construct of algorithms, as well as data structure. What are the real example? Like in computer, every files
Mm-hmm.
are stored in a form of tree manner, है ना?
Okay.
As well as database. When we are using Python, how can we enter the data in a tuples format to your database,
Mm-hmm.
है ना?
Mm-hmm.
So MS Access, our computer, everywhere the data is stored
I
just.
understand. I understand. What I'm meaning to ask is, what are the experiential activities you're in? What I am looking at right now is only one way of delivery of this lesson. That is teacher speaking, student doing. My question is, what is the out of box thinking conversation that is there in this lesson plan? I need to know that. Because when I look at the guided question, that write an algorithm and a flow chart, wherein the title of the top, wherein the title, Jyoti, could you just go to the top of the where the learning outcomes are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So if I'm looking at, the student should be able to understand the concept of data structure. Here we are trying to explain on the very same day what data structure is, what are the kind of different data structure elements are around us. If I'm looking at the end closure of the chapter. So at this point, I'm assuming the child knows nothing about an algorithm, nothing about the flowchart technique and concept, right? So when we are introducing the topic, the closure has to map with the activities, with the overall aim for that particular day. Now here what I'm looking at is, the teacher came into the classroom, they talked about the concept, there was a discussion where teacher talked about, maybe students did raise their hand, there was fishbone conversation where where the teacher asked the students and answered the questions. But again, the learning of what is all about us, what kind of an activity do you think from your group? I want to understand one activity where the students would be able to remember everything that is around them.
I want to point some examples.
Yes, please.
If I illustrate any data structure in the classroom, like example
Right.
stack, and
Okay.
I have to give example of the plates which are available, which are available in the cafeteria. All the plates
Mm-hmm.
are put one over others. So that
Mm-hmm.
pattern of the data, that pattern of objects are placed in a stack manner. When you are looking at the ticket corner, the persons are in a row that is known as queue, first in first
Mm-hmm.
serve. With the person is come first, they are served first. And the case of
Right,
the
right,
stack
right.
is last in first out,
Mm-hmm.
that the plate
Mm-hmm.
that last at it is used first. So the object, the data which are available all around to you, how can they managed, how can they organized, and how can you
Mm-hmm.
access, how can you delete particular element? We have to give not only algorithms way but also a real time example to them so that they
Hey,
can
that is
understand.
great. That is great that you are giving them the example. Is it Saurabh sir I'm talking to?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, okay, I got your point, Saurabh sir. Dhirendra sir, Manish sir, and Manju ma'am, I want to get this answer from you. What kind of activity spot on would you want to give to your children? एक तो सर ने बताया कि हमने बताया that this is a stack of plates recommending this is the last in first out activity, the first in first out activity. How would you want the children to tell you? This is you telling them. I agree, this is perfect. But I want to understand, once you have given the example, what in your lesson plan is saying that the children will do this activity to make us understand that they now know about the data structure. From the other three, I'm looking at Dhirendra sir, Manish sir, and Manju ma'am. Any of you can unmute and let me know.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. This is Manish, sir.
Ji, sir.
Ma'am, as sir has Saurabh sir has well said that we are giving
Yeah.
them an example
Yes.
of real life, like plates arranged in a
Yes.
stacked manner.
Okay.
Similarly, we students, I hope that the students will understand the concept.
Hello. I am sorry, sir. I cannot hear you. Manish, sir, can you hear me? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I think sir का network का
You are
कुछ
audible.
issue. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. You are audible.
Data structure.
Okay. Okay. Let's assume. Let's give an example. For example, you have, let's say, how do you teach? Let me just go back to very basics of class 1 to nursery and 1 when we're teaching the children colors as an example, right? So if you're giving them a box of three color balls, red, white, and blue, and we tell the children to sort these into different, what do you say? For example, we are telling them sort it color wise, right? The child understands that this is a red color, this is a white color, this is a blue color. So if we have given them three other boxes, we label them as red, white, and blue. We have given the knowledge that these are the colors. Now the child is supposed to understand what are the colors and classify it differently. Agreed? So the child picks up the red balls, put it in the red box, white ball, white box, ball, blue box. So all the balls have been classified into that. That is sharing the learning by the child that now I know this is done. I agree with what you're saying that when you are giving the child with real world examples around you, you've taught him what data structure would look like. My question is, what kind of an activity are you giving to the child that now the child is able to say, I understand what you're trying to say. I taught colors, I gave them an activity. Now they have classified the balls in three. So that was the activity. My guided practice was that I told them, this is red color, white color, blue color. Now I'm giving you this activity, classify it into these three balls. Same way, you have taught the children, these are the real life examples. Now, what activity are you giving to the child? That the child should be able to explain, this is a data structure, this is this data structure, this is this data structure. This is what I'm trying to say. The activity is missing over here. Do you get
Ma'am.
my do you get my
Yes, ma'am.
point over here?
Yes,
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
The activity you are giving to the child is draw a flow chart, write an algorithm, largest of three numbers. Till now, you've not even the child is not even right now relatable to the concept of data structure around them. Here we are jumping three lessons ahead and giving an activity to the child that he should be able to do only after having learned what is an algorithm, what is a flow chart. Do you see what is missing in this lesson plan? Agreed.
yes,
So
ma'am.
the activities
Yes,
inside
ma'am.
the lesson plan have to be such that they are able to they should be able to commit to the aim of that particular day. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. I hope this is clear to group two.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not saying your approach is wrong. I'm just saying the end activity that you are doing, you're expecting to the child, that is wrong. So the activity has to map to the learning objective for that particular day, not 3 years, not 3 days ahead. This is the flaw that is happening in this lesson plan. Okay? And I hope you guys take this forward when you are designing your own individual lesson plans, right? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, ma'am.
Team 2, you can stop sharing your screen.
Yes,
Group
ma'am.
3, I think Sachin sir sent a message. Who sent the message? Sachin sir sent the message that there's
No,
a
ma'am. I sent a message, ma'am. Actually, my group
okay,
3 here.
okay,
Ma'am,
but I don't okay.
actually, we are
There's a
created, but
electricity cut.
there is
No
an
one.
electricity.
Anybody who can share the screen, or you could just read out what your activity was probably.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
actually,
there is a.
Okay,
hello.
anybody can explain the activity. Jaya
Yeah,
ma'am, you
ma'am.
could do
Yeah,
it.
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. So, our topic is, ma'am, computer system. So, aim is
Okay,
the student able to understand what is input, what is output, and what are the input devices and output devices. The complete
okay,
computer system. That is the aim. And objectives
okay,
after that, the topics to be discussed means this. What is the difference between input and output? and input,
Mm-hmm.
output, storage, and processing devices. And what is
Okay.
IPO cycle? The main aim is what is IPO cycle. So
Okay.
nowadays every machine works on IPO cycle only.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave an activity, ma'am, for that. Just the students have to take one pencil and
Mm-hmm.
without sharpening. So that
Jay
is
ma'am, I'll
our,
just like to stop you here for a minute. Is
yeah.
this day one activity or is this an activity
No,
which
no,
is
no,
somewhere
ma'am.
in between the lesson?
No, no, ma'am. After completing the topic, so what is IPO
Okay, okay.
cycle? After
Yeah.
understanding, they will do, ma'am.
Okay.
And the topics after material requirements, like computer, and I'll show some videos to them. So what is
Right.
input device and what is output device, and so after that, so what is the difference between an input and output device? So
Mm-hmm.
suppose if we want to draw any picture, we have to use that mouse. So without mouse, we cannot draw. So that
Mm-hmm.
means we are giving input to the computer by using mouse. So like that, by showing
Okay.
some pictures, input devices pictures, I'll make the students to understand the topic now. So after
Okay.
by adding 2 or 3 numbers, by using calculator, by giving numbers, also we can understand, we can explain them what is input and what we are getting is output. So that
Right.
addition or subtraction, whatever it may be, it is process. So the my
Okay.
main motto is every computer system works on IPO cycle. So real time examples I'll show to them, ma'am. Like pencil, I told you,
Yeah.
and addition, and like
Okay.
washing machine, and
Okay.
every electronic machine, ma'am. So without means that works on 3 steps. So
Okay.
that activity I'll explain to them, ma'am, and homework also just any real time example, and draw some input output devices. So like that I'll give to them, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just giving you this one example to you. This probably will be very helpful for you. I can just so this is called as a little man computer. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Now
ma'am.
for this same activity, what you're trying to do, this is called as a little man computer. So where sometimes when we are trying to teach the student about an assembly language, okay, something that you are trying to talk about the IPO cycle. So this is basically I do with my international grade students. Let me just give you assembly language code to add two numbers. Let me just see it generated and okay. Oh, this is the two bit numbers. So probably this link you can just take and you can try. Probably it will not be able to. I will not be able to run the whole code because it's a little complex one, and I really need to give you some simple one example over here.
Yeah,
Something
okay.
like this probably. Okay, so let's say if I write down is LDA is used for loading, moving, LDA a second number, adding both of them, moving it to another accumulator location, and then displaying it and then halt. For example, this is your input, the mnemonics that we are using for adding and displaying. So what
Yeah,
it does is you write your code over here, you write your code over here, and then automatically the moment you submit it, it starts running and it shows you, assuming this is the RAM. So when
okay.
you show this kind of an example, when we talk about what is program counter, what is the address register, if you want, I'll share it with you. See in the chat, you can earmark this for your classes. I mean, I don't know, or you can just look for Little Man Computer in the system. That
Yeah,
should
ma'am.
be helpful for you. So what it does is that, it shows actually that if this is a RAM map, it helps
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
bring in and do this. So as an
Okay.
activity in your lesson plan, what you can do is you can give them these kind of simulators.
Yeah, ma'am. Sure.
Right. So
Yeah,
whether
ma'am.
it is looking, so for them to understand, see, it is one thing to show them a video, and it
Yeah,
is
ma'am.
another for them to actually experience with it.
Yeah,
Right.
ma'am.
So
Yeah,
then,
ma'am.
for example, the other one, there was another one, the group before it. For example, Jyoti, this is for your group that I'm showing. So there is this one website called Visual Go. Right here, you can actually look at the simulation with for them for the children to actually go ahead and explore it themselves. So for example, if you're looking at bubble sort and we're asking them to let's just sort this out. So when they actually see it happening along with the code simultaneously, it's moving around, and then the things are getting, the heaviest element is landed in its place. So when they see it happening, rather than, they can experiment over here like a simulation where you can actually change the scale, you can create your own list, see how insertion sort works, look at how when we just try it out, those kind of conversations that how they are working it out, they're inserting in its right location, looking at it whether it is there or not. So the things that we are trying to actually explain to them, every single, so this is trying to compare two algorithms. Probably the child would be able to, so many of us know that selection sort and insertion sort, some or the other, look the similar. So if we
Yeah.
have taught them selection sort, let them build on that knowledge to go to the next level. That really helps. Okay. So I
Yeah,
think
ma'am.
when you, in your particular activity, especially when we are having a lot of theoretical concepts, giving them online simulations for them to work with. Similarly, if you are talking about, let's say, doing hands-on activity, Tinkercad is a wonderful place to go and create 3D designs to actually understand how we can go about doing computational thinking or working with circuits.
Okay.
Extremely, so you, how do you visualize things inside the classroom? So they can actually learn by doing so much for themselves when you look at these kind of activities. Start designing, whether it is in 3D, when you're looking at, when you're talking about area of figures, you're talking about, so you give them, let them figure it out that if this is the amount of thing, this is where, not only in mathematics, it can
Yeah, ma'am.
also help them understand things when they're looking at it from that perspective. Working with circuits, working with robotics, looking at just building coding foundation. Children might say, we know block coding and all. Fine, do it, explain it. So those simple concepts can actually be built around those activities. Good
Okay.
idea, good topic, but I like the way you picked up the materials from the general things like using pencils and stuff like that. Really great. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, very
Thank you.
quickly, I would want the room four. Thank you, sir. Room four, I am going to stop sharing my screen. Room four, anybody is sharing their idea? Because I remember your group saying that you don't have uh, anybody is having a screen to share. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will share my screen, ma'am.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. And I would request, sir, let's keep it short because we've got a quick. We're nearly 2 hours over. So okay. Oh, that's wonderful. You've got it all planned out. Lovely. So
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
You
class
can get
10th
it.
computer science. Right. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Topic is computer networking, and subtopic is
Mhm.
definition of networking, and second one types of network, and third is topology. And our
Okay.
general aim is to just find the advantages of network and what is the
Right.
network, and how we can connect different computers on a network,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
Okay.
And our specific aim is that, ma'am, to understand the different types of network and different topologies used in network, ma'am.
Okay.
And the teaching objective is the same, ma'am. So students can able to understand the all types of network setup, how we can
Mm-hmm.
set up network in real life, ma'am.
Right. I see the activity is really nice, but I want to, I have a very different question over here. I know this is spread across 3 days that you've explained over here, the teaching methodologies and all. If
Yes.
there is a student with special needs that requires certain hand holding, how will this lesson plan support that child? Because this is something that a student with, generally a student with a technical bent of mind also, or
Yes.
scientific approach also, finds it difficult to remember and understand. How would this lesson plan have a sub individual activity where the child is able to understand? How would you
Yes,
want to do that?
yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, ac- actually, I will create a group of student in the class itself. So
Okay.
two or three group will make it. So just by sharing their hand, so
Right.
just they will give
Yes.
a message to another student. So so mm, so so in that way, just we can show the topologies.
Lovely, sir. That's a wonderful example of explaining the topologies, whether it is a ring topology, it's a
Yes,
star
ma'am.
topology. It's a
Yes,
wonderful idea when the students are joining hands, and
yes, ma'am.
students with special needs also will
Yes,
be able to look at the actual illustration That's a
Yes,
wonderful example. So I
mm,
must applaud this particular group for going ahead and taking that
thank you,
particular level of activity. Very
thank you.
nicely done, I would say. I'm just not able to read at the bottom. What is
Uh,
the
so,
evaluation tool that you've shared? Yeah.
uh,
Oh, that's great. You've actually categorized it that way also.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So actually, we have divided the students in three group, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Slow learner, average student, and bright student. And just we will give the
Okay.
uh, assignment to each and every group separately, ma'am.
Okay.
Uh, so just I will tell कि तुमको ये करना है, तुमको ये करना है और तुम्हारे ग्रुप को ये करना है, मैम. So just we will show you.
I agree with the way you classified the assignment, but can I just suggest over here that we
Yes,
do
ma'am.
not actually categorize the student as slow learner, average, or bright? We would rather say, rephrase our way of presenting the learner, right? We can
Yes,
probably say higher order thinking skills. A student,
yes,
every student will probably have to attempt the first three questions, but you can give an extra credit to the student who would probably do the bright student wala section also.
yes,
Agreed. So let's just rephrase the sentence and not categorize, because these particular terms, when we put it in the learning plan, it
ma'am.
gets categorized. We are putting the children in those categories, and let's not do that, right? So we can probably just give a separate, so we can say it in two parts: assignment for all students, and we can say higher order thinking skills, right? So every student does the first section, but if any child wants an extra credit, they can all, and that probably would not be able to do be done by a student of lower understanding, probably वो कर ही नहीं पाएगा. But the student
Yes,
with is having the capacity, who is anyways above average, would definitely do those questions for an extra credit, right?
yes,
So just let's
yes.
rephrase our categories of students over there. Rest your team's work is amazing, very
Thank you,
nicely done, I would say. And
thank
this probably would just bring us to the end of our conversation with all the groups. Very quickly, sir, thank you so much. Your team 4, very nicely done. I would like to just share my screen once last so that we can close the session at the earliest, right? Let me just share my screen. Okay, where was I? Okay, competency I can see. Yeah. So we have talked about Bloom's taxonomy activity. So here I would just like to say, so whenever you get those 5 sections, look at the top goal. These are coming from the academic syllabus that is given by the CBSE. You further pick up the skills that you have and design your unit plans accordingly. Connecting the as I said earlier also, when we connecting the competency frameworks with our curriculum goals, it not only helps the student equip with the knowledge, but the skills, the values. It also helps them analyze the different competencies required for different specific curricular topics. It's very important, like I have seen across different groups that have presented today, that you guys were able to bring about student engagement. Very important. There was a concept of collaboration. There was a concept of helping each other, standing up for each other, and getting the job done. So all the skills, when you are doing, remember, when you're making your annual plans, you are identifying the key topics and further breaking it down into smaller subtopics. You have to be very careful about the time you are doing on every term, on every number of hours that is prescribed by CBSE for a particular theory and practical topics. Create the schedule accordingly and make sure there are intermediate timelines for reviews, assessments, formative and summative both, and if there are any annual projects involved. So remember, when you are designing your day-to-day activities, you have to make sure that every level is met. They learn to remember, understand, apply, analyze, and not only just that, but evaluate and create accordingly also. So we did look at the different advantages of preparing for future challenges. It's not only doing promoting the holistic development of the child, but it also enhances the student learning outcomes. Sometimes the students teach us some things in a way by means of their own activities and come back with knowledge that we were probably not able to impart in our class. Challenges will always be there. It means these will be able to identify that what are the gaps that are there in the curriculum and what all you need to do as an educator to make those gaps lesser and lesser. It's very important to know what kind of an infrastructure you have and what best you can do in what you are having. Timing, training, and capacity building very important. So attend as much as possible, online, offline, that you can, to make yourself make yourself more uh, as attuned to the latest technologies around the world. It's very important that you are also monitoring and evaluating your own techniques. So don't just resort to the last points, that this is, we have to finish the syllabus, let's get it done with. Try, and at least if you are not able to do it for all units, try and start with at least 1 to 2 units where the children are doing out of box thinking and experiential activities. Then only the whole concept and the vision of CBSE of going ahead with the national curriculum framework and the national education policy in place will be a success. It's most important that you are integrating these frameworks. Otherwise, the skills and knowledge will just not be achievable. So try and make achievable goals, set yourself for a timeline, and format it as accordingly. So now that was the end of my conversation. Before I take your leave, I would just request you. We are going to meet again. I think on mm, just a
30.
second. I will let you know. We are meeting again on the 30th, I guess, right?
23rd.
Uh, no, 23rd. I'm meeting the 11th, 12th. 30th. I'm meeting you as a group for 9th and 11th. These things again, right? So
Yes,
please
ma'am.
try
Yes,
and so if there is a
ma'am.
common 30th, we are trying to talk about competency-based teaching. So we'll meet as a group for 9th again. And that's all for the day. And there is one feedback form which is equally required for you to fill for your attendance. Anyways, your attendance is going to be marked the moment you are there on the Zoom. But I would still say that, please go ahead and fill in your feedback forms. That's very helpful for me also to understand that where the gaps are and what other activities I need to plan. Thank you very much, and apologies for taking 7-8 minutes beyond the time. I hope it has been a good learning day for you, and
And ma'am, where is the
hope to see
feedback?
you soon.
And ma'am, where is the feedback form, ma'am?